Hello, my name is Brittany Vela and I'm going to be giving a book review for my environmental science class. The book I chose and read was Junkyard Planet by Adam Minter and published by Bloomsbury Publisher, April 2015. Adam Minter is a columnist at Bloomberg Opinion. From 2002 to 2014, he lived in China and researched and educated himself on many topics, such as politics, environment, and religion. Minter is also a widely cited expert on global trade and recyclables, which he has lectured about all over the world. This has all come together in the book he wrote, Junkyard Planet. Adam Minter, from a young age, was in the environment of junkyards because his family owned a junkyard, and he spent a lot of time there. He was always fascinated by the big machines and the whole process of junk and what really happens to it all. He has traveled to many junkyards around the world and reported information about the inside job of junkyards. Junkyard trading is a deeply hidden industry that shapes the economy and environment. I picked this book because I have never heard of such an industry. I had no idea people traded trash and made millions of dollars doing so. I know of scrapyards and getting money from metals, but not as such as a wide-scale job as this. I find it very interesting how this is such a hidden project and how it affects the environment. In the book, there are a few key points which I will be covering in the summary section. The first main point is that there is a hidden global network of recycling and reclamation sites that process all the waste we produce. This basically concludes to mean that we all recycle and all the products gets turned over into money. People who collect cans and other recyclables collect in bulk, and these objects get turned into a big company that gets transported to other nations. Once the recyclables are melted and turned into metals. It has turned into a global trade because ultimately other nations charge cheaper for transport. China is a big shipping palace because they offer discounts for scrap to be exported there since the US imports so much. The second key point, which goes off with the first, is that recycling is not just to save the planet. It is a big moneymaker. Most think we are all educated to recycle because it is what we should do to save the planet. But this is not the reason. It is all about the money because when you think about it, it is making money out of trash and out of nothing. Overall, melting cars, cans, and other things to metal is cheap and is not worth a lot when there are little product. But some of these scrapyards make millions of pounds of metal each year, which in the large amount like what is worth a lot of money to buyers. Another key point in the book is that the more sustainable recycling, the more profitable it is. This all comes back to the fact that recycling is not about saving the planet, it is about making money from the junk. This kind of waste includes a lot of electronics and wires and such. The wires and copper in them are worth a lot of money and can be more useful for countries other than the US. It is only of recent that we have learned, or more like we have been told, to recycle our lights and TVs and such. This is because the country wants to sell the parts to other nations that will use them. America's waste like these goes to the nation with the highest bidding at that moment. The last main topic in the book is that the world is a better and richer place because of recycling and trading of it all. We all recycle, and because of it saves our nation money and labor to have it shipped to other countries, and we help them and they help us in the hidden industry. Yes, it does help our planet, but that is not all the base reason for recycling. It is in question if it is ethical and may be why it is a hidden multi-million industry. But because it makes money and is sustainable for now and takes care of the waste in the nation, it will continue to be hidden. Now to analyze the text and all the information Adam Minter wanted to get to his audience. I think he made it clear that his main objectives were met and were backed up by evidence. His main objective was to tell people about the junk and trade and the real purpose of recycling. He went into the industry and got a lot of insider information on the business's secrets. He did this though to educate the world and our nation, and not to create negative annotation around it. He was unopinionated about the whole topic and gave hard facts. It has helped that he had background knowledge and experience about the hidden industry while growing up. It gave him credibility in the subject. He also spent years traveling and learning everything he could to make sure he got all the facts he needed to create the book. He gathered all different sides of the hidden industry, which also helps the audience learn about it and to help people understand the reason behind it all. A big thing he included in the book to help his cause is he wrote about both sides, which every good author and educator should do. He reported on the negatives of the trade. For example, he talked about how many who lived in China around the waste zone were getting lead poisoning due to the processing of it all, and how little was done to stop or change this from happening. How also a lot of places that were now processing the junk in other nations have become unlivable when they were nicer environments to begin with. Adam Minter showed the negatives of the industry he talks about, which shows he is not just talking positives and convincing people of things, but just sharing all of the information he was getting and seeing. Another good point he made in the book to help the book is he talked about the audience and what they could do and what the nation could do about recycling. He talks about how we could and should make products more long-lasting if we are going to keep using them anyways, and how this bigger picture shouldn't get rid of the hidden industry, but how we could help end it all. One thing that didn't work for him is I think he could have explained more about why it is a hidden industry. He did explain in the bigger picture, but I was left with more questions about it. He could have explained why the money part of it is such a secret and why the public doesn't know about it, and is it just because of the money? Some of the themes were big money industries, global trade, and recycling. I think these themes and the information were intended for an audience who care about the money scheme of things in the nation, but also the public, because he wants the public to know what is behind the junkyards and why we are actually recycling and why we are told to recycle. He is trying to not just tell the big secret, but educate people more on what and why of it all. I do not think his point is to ruin the industry, but to maybe make it more regulated and make it more ethical, because he understands the money of it all and so should others, but he also wants to know about the other parts of the hidden industry of trash trading. Overall, the book and the author just made me more educated on the subject and made me realize there's so much more going on in the nation with money as the motive than something else. It also made me realize how much is hidden and how much it is not told to the public. Therefore, I would recommend that book to others so they can learn about the secrets that are kept from us. Others should know about the industry and the money and motives behind recycling. I believe not many know about this, and the author wanted it to be known and common knowledge. So eventually it can come to the public and it can change so it is ethical, and that way it can help everyone. The book made me understand why it is a hidden, but that does not mean it is right. I think this nation has a lot of secrets and operations that are hidden because if they are public, the people would not agree. There are also a lot of secrets because they are not regulated and do not want to be regulated. This is just one part of the nation that is secret that should not be hidden, but overall, it should be checked out ethically and people should know about it. Some of these big hidden industries need to be known, but money is a motive and people will disregard things due to how much money it brings in, no matter the cost. This book is just a little bit of an eye-opener to other things that are done behind people's backs. Maybe the book will help people understand and realize some of the wrongs in the nation that can still be accomplished, but they need to be regulated and done ethically. Thank you for listening.